What's up, man? This is Iron the Soul, back today with another video. Please subscribe to my channel for those of you who are new. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about my content. Well, let's get to it. A very important subject, something I'm excited to discuss, and that is hip-hop artists' perspective on semen retention. For those who have watched my content over the last 2 years, I have talked a lot about hip-hop culture, my videos about King Von, FBG Duck, what is happening in Chicago, as well as the death of so many rappers in the year 2020 and 2021. And in addition to that, it's a lot deeper than the last 2 years. Hip-hop is a voice, has been a voice for the community for the last 40, 50 years. Starting in New York on a playground, and what it evolved to become, from conscious rap to gangster rap to trap to mumble, and various styles over the last 40, 50 years have become this combined machine, this voice that goes out throughout the earth. It is music that's listened to by people all over the world. In fact, I saw on Instagram recently, they have hip hop over in India, China. And so it has become a global sound that a lot of people like to use as a way to express themselves. Hip hop has become, and it is, a platform for those who are outcasts or disenfranchised to express themselves and to share their experiences with the world, and to use that as a way to get out together in some cases, and to make it out of a life of hell on earth. So, hip-hop is much deeper than that. It would require an hour conversation for me to give you a thorough talk on what it really is. That's just a brief assessment. I may do that one day in the future. I may give a long 1 2 hour live concerning hip-hop, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I may do that. Let me know if you want me to do that or not. But aside from that, let's talk about retention and hip-hop artists. Let's begin with my boy from the South, NLE Chopper. Yeah. NLE has openly discussed semen retention. I gotta give us credit for that. That's something most 20-year-olds are not gonna talk about before the whole world. So I am proud of him as a young man to get before the world and to express himself in that way. And hopefully some of his fans were intelligent enough to get that. I did read the comments. And from reading the comments, unfortunately, most guys are just not there yet. They think it's weird. Why would you say something like that openly? These guys are going crazy. Man, the internet will say anything. Guys don't get it. And that's disturbing. It tells me that they have been thoroughly programmed and taught to think exactly what those who are in power want them to think. Aside from that, I hope that a few will hear it and say, you know what? I'm going to consider that and try that for myself. Here's what NLE had to say about retention. He says, I went celibate for like a month because I realized what having sex did. Let me park right there. Here's a young man who has access to some of the most beautiful women in the earth because of his status and money and clout in their world. So at that level, he realized even there has to be more. There's something that is off about this. I don't feel right. My energy is off, right? He said, I realized that I was tired after having sex, which I know you guys are okay with, duh. We all know that. But hear him out. Hear him out. You can have sex, but I feel like your semen retention should be the focus. So you say, okay, I already know that. We need to talk about this. As men, when you are consistently losing your life force energy, you lower your testosterone levels. You increase your prolactin levels, which makes you lazy. It makes you feel like you are done with work, right? It says job is well done, when it's not in some cases. You're tricking your brain into thinking you're with all these beautiful women who love and admire you, and they don't. So it puts you in this fantasy world. And so what retention does for men, it brings you back to reality. And it makes you face you. You hear me? If you are on retention, any of you guys who have practiced this, you know what I'm talking about. You go 30 days. Guess what you're going to deal with? Yourself. And that anger, those emotions, those struggles, those insecurities, they're going to come out. And that's a good thing. Why? Because that life force energy is putting pressure on you. And it's going to make you deal with that. And that's where you need to be. All that stuff can't be suppressed. You got to bring that stuff out. And I think when a man can hold on to a seed, it puts you in a position where you can do that and to get focused. And so I appreciate NLE Chopper, the young man, sharing his experience. He talked about chakras. He talked about meditation. So it's teaching me that these guys in this world, you gotta realize the music industry is a very difficult world to be in. It is dog eat dog. It will eat you alive. I have done hours of research on the music industry and the sacrifices and what happens in the contracts and the pressure and what they're told to do, the threats. We have no idea. So when you are in that world, you feel those demons, right? Some demons are stronger than others. And so when the level they're on, they are around some strong devils. And they feel that. They're thinking, whoa, what's going on? Right? And so at that level, he's understanding, I need some type of edge. And if you are a man listening to this who is a creative person, you do music, whether you rap or sing, you dance, whether you are the person doing the artwork, the beats, the producer, the engineer, if you are in that creative space, you need to practice this. Why? Kevin Gates gives us a little more insight. Again, these are lessons I've taught for years, but I'm glad to hear these men talk about it as well. It also tells you, obviously, they have access to YouTube. These men are seeing some of these videos. I'm not saying they saw me personally, but they're seeing the men in the community, nationwide, worldwide, who are discussing this topic, and they're saying, you know what, that makes sense. Let me try that. And I'm hoping that's what you will do after hearing this video. Kevin Gates talked about this in terms of retention. He says, not ejaculating will help heal the central nervous system and heal your brain. I talked about that in my video a year ago, right? When you retain your life force for 15 days, to my research, what happens is basically your life energy. And I know this sounds weird to some of y'all. Okay, this sounds crazy. I can't believe you believe this. I do believe this. So I believe from a biological perspective, when you hold on to your seed, it literally travels up your spine. You say, oh, this sounds weird. We're men here. Let's grow up and listen to the man conversation. It travels up your spine, which strengthens your nervous system. And it eventually makes it to your brain, which nourishes the brain. And what that does, it helps with the benefits of what? Mental clarity, creativity, focus, razor sharp thinking, better memory. And if you're rapping, you need all of that. If you are doing music, if you are an artist, if you are a model, if you're doing anything in that space, you're trying to rap or model or lift weights or be a personal trainer, if you're in that world as a young man, you need to be practicing retention to strengthen your nervous system. Wow. What does that do? You'll be more poised. You'll have a calmer disposition. Your voice tone. Retention does increase the bass in your voice, so you'll have a deeper voice. You'll have stronger eye contact. All of these are different edges you need in this type of space. So when Kevin Gates talks about this, he's in a world where he needs all of that. To be at the level he's at with millions of fans and doing music at that level, he has to have positive energy. Otherwise, people won't follow him. He has to have an aura about himself. And you can look at Kevin Gates, and I've been kind of just smiling at looking at this. You can see firsthand how retention has changed his personality. Look at Kevin Gates 10 years ago in the ghetto, and look at Kevin Gates now. His whole aura is different. The way he talks to people, his disposition. So he is showing the world firsthand how powerful this discipline can be. It can change you as a man. And the last example today is Joey Bad, who has also talked about retention. He says he's been practicing seed retention for 2 years. He stated in a podcast with Angela Lee that he's a highly productive man and how this has helped him with going forward in life. And I think that he says something that's also important. Retention is a practice. So we're not here to try to master this and have it at a perfect streak after your first year of practicing this. So if you relapse, if you struggle, don't beat yourself up. This is not the time for that. This is a practice. This is a journey. I was taught many years ago, and I will continue to preach this, a righteous man falls 7 times. That is a proverb from King Solomon. Just talked about him recently too, by the way. Go check that video out. Shameless plug as well. A righteous man falls 7 times, but rises up again. So retention is a practice. You will not master it right away, but you have to stay focused, get better every time, get stronger and get wiser. So I really appreciate these young men, Joey Bad, NLE Chopper, as well as Kevin Gates, sharing their personal experiences with the practice of seed retention and how those all connect together with that hip-hop culture, the dance culture, the rap culture, the music, the art, the modeling. All that goes hand in hand. The NBA, sports, all this stuff is connected. And so I'm grateful to hear their perspective on that. And I hope that this serves as just a little more motivation for you guys. to continue on your journey. That's all I got for you today. This is your brother Iron the Soul. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram at PercyEdmonds37. Peace.